In this video, I'm going to show you how to use your Casio FX-115ES Plus on the math section of the ACT exam. Alright, so the first thing to know is your shift button. That's going to be on the left side here. Okay, another button right next to it, alpha. So for the shift button, that's going to allow you to use a function that's on top of the button, like the solve you see here, or the exclamation point. So you use shift and press that button to get the second functionality of it. Or if you use alpha, you get to use what's in the red there. So shift to do what's in the yellow, alpha to do what's in the red. Okay, under mode, you got our mode button. You change it to the various modes. You got computation mode, complex mode, statistics mode, base n mode, equation, matrix, table, and vector. You use the arrows to navigate. So here we press the down arrow to get more. Inequalities, verify, and distribution. And then press the AC button to go back to the main screen. You want to know where the parentheses are. They're right here. Get your left and right parentheses. You want to use your comma, which is above the right parentheses. You gotta do shift and then that button to give you the comma. Now if you want to square something like 7 squared, you press 7 and then the square button right here. That'll give you 7 squared, press equal, and that equals 49. Then press clear. And if you want to do something to the third power, I can do 5, shift, then this button gives me to the third power, equal, so 125. 5 to the third power is 125. If I need that exponent higher than that, I can do 3, and then this button right here, that's going to give me this little box up here. I can put any value in there. So then the 7th power, 3 to the 7th power, is going to equal 2,187. Now if I wanted to find the square root of something, I can press this button right here, give me the square root sign, plug in my number, for example 25, and do equal. So the square root of 25 is 5. Now if I wanted to higher a root, I can do shift and this button. And I can put third root in that spot. Use my arrows, the arrow underneath the radical. I can put in 64 and equal. So the third root of 64 is 4. So 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Now you might encounter some problems that deal with scientific notation. What you can do is put your calculator in scientific notation mode, and you can do those calculations directly on the calculator. So I do shift mode to go up to setup, and option 7, scientific notation. So I choose 7, and then how many decimal places I want. So I'll just do 3. So now if I did 700,000, plus 85,000, and do equal, the result is 7.85 times 10 to the 5th power. So here's my answer in scientific notation. And to get back to normal mode, go back to shift mode to get back to setup, and then go back to option 8 for normal. And then how many decimal places? Let's say 2. Alright, so let's say we want to convert a decimal to a fraction. So I'm going to enter in 0.125. And now since I'm in the Math IO mode, it's going to give me as a fraction. I'm going to press this button to convert it from decimal to fraction. So 0.125 or back to 1/8. Now if I want to change it from percent to decimal, I'm going to put in 5 and then use my percent sign, do shift, and this button right here with the parenthesis, do equal. So now it says a fraction, 1/20th, but I can convert it to a decimal, pressing this button, give me 0.05. So sometimes you might need a constant pi. So I use shift and this button down here, that'll give me pi. That'll give me the result. Again, change it to decimal if you need that. This calculator also has a function to do the least common multiple. So it's right here. You see LCM in the red there. So if I wanted to find least common multiple of three numbers, 30, 45, and 70, I have to do alpha and the divide button. Now in this case, to do 3, I need to do it twice here. Put in my numbers 30, comma, 45, close parenthesis, another comma, and then 70, close parenthesis, equal, so 630. So the least common multiple of 30, 45, and 70 is 630. I can also do greatest common factor or greatest common divisor. That's right next to the least common multiple, GCD. So again, I'm going to do alpha and that button. If I want to find the greatest common divisor of 36, 48, and 84, I got to do it twice. Remember, these usually only take two numbers, but if you want to do three, which you'll see on the ACT exam, yeah, do two of them in a row like that. And put in your numbers, 36, comma, 48, close parenthesis, another comma, 84, close parenthesis, press your equal, and then you get 12. Now you can also use this calculator to find the mean and median of a data set. And then you first need to change your mode to stat mode. So I'm going to go to mode. This will be choice 3 for stat. I'm going to choose option 1 for one variable. Then it allows me to enter in my data points. So I'm going to use 10, then press equal, 15, 18, 12, 32, and 40. Now press AC to go back to the main screen, and then do shift 1, go to the stat menu. I'm going to choose option 4 for variable. So choice 1 tells you the number of data points, choice 2 is for your mean, choice 3 is for your population standard deviation, option 4 is your sample standard deviation. So if I want to find the mean, I press 2, then equal, so my mean is 17.4. And go clear and go back to the menu, shift 1. And choose option 6 for min max. That's going to be my min value, my max, my quartile 1, Q1, my median, and Q3, quartile 3. So I want to find my median, so I choose 4, equal, so my median is going to be 15. Now this calculator can also do matrices. So go to mode and choose option 6 for matrix. It allows you to edit matrix A, B, or C. So I'm going to edit the first matrix and tell us dimensions. I'm going to choose a 2 by 2, so that's option 5. Then it allows me to enter in my values. So I'm going to do 2 equal 0 equal negative 1 equal and 5. So now I want to edit matrix B. So I want to do shift then 4 to get the matrix menu. I want to change my data. I want to change matrix B, so option 2. So again, it's going to be another 2 by 2 matrix. So option 5. Enter in my values, 7 equal negative 1 equal negative 6 equal 9 equal. now go back to the main screen. If I want to find the result of 2a minus b, I put in my 2, go back to my matrix menu, shift 4. I want matrix A, so option 3. Now I want to subtract matrix B, so minus, shift 4, and option 4 for matrix B, then equal. So my resulting matrix is -3, 1, 4, and 1. Now you can also find the determinant of a matrix. Again, I'm going to do shift 4, get to my menu, option 7 for a determinant. I need to choose which matrix I want, so back to shift 4, and let's just choose matrix A, so that's going to be 3, close parenthesis, and press equal, so the determinant of matrix A is 10. Now this calculator can also do vectors, so I can go to mode, option 8 is for vector. So let's modify vector A, so option 1, and basically how many elements, 3 or 2. I'm going to choose 2, put in my values, 4 equal, 5 equal to enter and in. Okay, go back to the screen. I want to go back to, and I want to edit vector B, so I do shift 5 for vector menu, back to data for 2, vector B, so number 2 again, and it's going to be 2 elements, so 2, and it's going to be -1 equal, and 7 equal. And if we want to do an operation on the vectors, let's say 3a minus 2b, so I want to do 3, shift 5, choose vector A, which is option 3, and then minus 2 times vector B, so shift 5, option 4 for vector B. So now I have 3 times vector A minus 2 times vector B, do equal. So the resulting vector is 14 and 1. On the ACT, you might see vectors where you have to add them, subtract them, or multiply them by a scalar value. So I'm going to go back to mode here, and go back to our main mode, option choice 1. Another important button is the factorial button. I want to find 8 factorial, I press number 8, shift, this button here, you see the exclamation point above the button, so 8 factorial, then equal, so 40,320. We can also do combinations on this calculator. So if I have a combination of 7 people and I need to choose 2 at a time, I can press my 7 first. Then we see over here, above the divide buttons, the NCR as a combination. So shift, divide button, and get the C on the screen, and press R2. So 7 NCR2, so equal 21. You can also do permutations. So let's say we had 5 people, we need to order them in 3 different ways. So you do 5, shift, the multiplication button gives you the permutation, and then 3, and equal, and that gives a result of 60. And we can also deal with complex numbers. So we want to change our mode to complex. So we go to mode, option 2 is for complex numbers. You can see you're in the mode right here with complex. You see I is our complex number. And all you gotta do is press the E and G button to get that. So for example, if I want to do 3 plus 2i plus 5 minus 4i, I just do 3 plus 2i plus 5 minus 4i, do equal, and it gives us a complex number result, 8 minus 2i. So that basically combine the I terms, the imaginary number parts, and combine the real parts. So 3 and 5 are the real parts, give you 8. 2i minus 4i gives you negative 2i when you add the complex parts together. You can also do division with complex numbers. So if we have 2 divided by 3i, I can do 2 divided by, and I'm going to put it in parentheses so I know those are grouped together. So 3i, that's going to give us negative 2/3 I. And remember on the ACT, we want to rationalize the denominator when it comes to complex numbers. We don't want a complex number in the denominator, so we need to rationalize it. So instead of doing it by hand, you do it on the calculator. By hand, you'd multiply the top and bottom by I. So you end up with I squared. And remember, I squared is equal to negative 1. So doing it in the calculator here, it does the work for you. Another case you can have is 2 divided by 2 plus 3i. Normally by hand, you would multiply the top and bottom by the conjugate, which would be 2 minus 3i. But on this calculator, you can just type it in and press equal, and it gives you the real and imaginary parts. So 4/13 minus 6/13 I. So doing this on the calculator would save you a lot of time dealing with complex numbers. So on this calculator, you can also solve equations. So I change my mode to option 5 for equation. So option 1 allows you to solve a system of linear equations with 2 variables. Second one with 3 variables. Third is a quadratic. And 4 is a cubic. So I can choose one for a system of equations, linear equations, and put in my coefficients for A, B, and C. So we get 3, negative 1, and 7. Then my other equation can be 2, 1, and 8. Now press equal. So that tells me x is equal to 3. Press the down arrow, and then y is equal to 2. So that's how you solve a system of linear equations. Then go back to mode. Press 5 again. If I want to do a quadratic, solve a quadratic, I can choose option 3. Then put in my coefficients, 1, negative 2, and negative 15. Press equal. So get x1 equals to 5. Press the down arrow, x2, negative 3. So your answers to the quadratic are 5 and negative 3. So 2 answers. I can change my mode back to 1. So on this calculator, you can also do the prime factorization. I type in the number 36 and press equal, and do shift and then this button for FACT factorial. So it breaks down to 2 squared times 3 squared. So sometimes that might come in handy. So you also have your normal trig functions, sine, cosine, tangent. And if you want the inverses, you do shift, sine, or shift cosine, or shift tan to get the inverse trig function. And you can also deal with radical operations. So first I need to change my setup to Mathio. I do shift mode, option 1. You can choose option 1. If I want to find the square root of 2 plus the square root of 8, do the square root button, and then 2, cut arrow over, then plus, square root of 8, and then equal. So it gives my result in radical format. So 3 square root of 2. If you need to change it to decimal, press your decimal button. So it's equivalent to 4.242640687. So I want to find the square root of 18. It's going to be 3 square root of 2. Other important buttons include log base 10, natural log, which is log base E. And those are the important features for your Casio FX-115ES Plus to use in the ACT math section. Thanks for watching.